Alright guys, welcome back. We might have an interesting one here. We've got a 2011 Ford Focus. It's imported from the UK. It's got 147,000 miles on it. Basically what's happened is the customer has a problem with this vehicle and thought it was an ECU. So he sent us in the mail an ECU, a donor ECU, and his original ECU, and wanted us to clone it for him because he suspected the ECU was at fault. So we cloned it for him. We sent it back. He put it in the car and he said the same fault with the new ECU. So he got it back in, and we're here now. We're going to go for a drive and confirm his complaint, but basically the complaint is every now and then it won't start. It has engine malfunction warning on the cluster, and sometimes it will just be a Christmas tree warning, Fiesta, and it will go into limp mode. So let's go for a drive and see if we can confirm the customer's complaint first. Finally, we caught it. I've driven this thing so much. Basically, I drove it a few times. I took it back, and then I decided I'll connect the scan tool anyway, just take it out with me. Before we do another code scan, while it's failing, you see the car's still running, but we've got all the Christmas tree lights on and nothing on the speedo. I just want to show you, it did log some codes while we were driving, just in general, before it failed. So engine, ABS, nothing. EPS, control module communication bus off. FACM, I'm not too concerned about because the customer has had the AdBlue DPF. When he was in the UK, he had that removed, so I'm partially not concerned about that. And instrument panel and the immobilizer both have CAN bus receive error. So that was before. So let's do another code scan now that it's failed and failing. Pre-scan. Wow, okay. We've got a communication error. There's something going on with the CAN network, I reckon. Now we can't communicate with, what do we have before? ECM, EPS, FACM, and what was the other one? Anyway, ABS. Clearly there's something going on. Let's take it back to the shop and see if we can get the breakout box and maybe the CAN hooked up to an oscilloscope, and hopefully it stays on, because the customer did say sometimes it just goes out really quickly. So let's go back to the shop and have a look. Okay, there we go. All the lights are off again. We still got engine malfunction. We're still in limp mode, but I've got RPM. I still got no power steering, and it's in absolute limp mode. But let's do another code scan, and now let's see what we get. Pre-scan. Just get this up here so you can see better. Okay. Oh my gosh, the glare's horrible. ECM, internal control module, ABS. Now we got all those modules back. Receive error, EPS is bus off, bus error, receive error, receive error, receive error. So we've got lots of receive errors. We've got EPS bus off. Let's get it back in the shop and see what we get. Alright, we're back in the shop. It came good when we got in, but I cleared all the codes after saving them, and we've got one problem after that. Check this out. Power steering malfunction, and I've got no power steering. I have to use my He-Man strength, but the only code is steering angle sensor failure. So that is very, very weird. Let's do one more code scan. Continue, just to be sure. That's the only code there. Very interesting. I might have to take it out for another drive and see if I can get the CAN lines to drop out. I might hook up, like I said, a scope to a breakout box. Let's do that. Let's see what's going on. Alright, we are hooked up. We've got our breakout box. We've basically got our single channel on ground and high speed and low speed. So essentially we have got a math channel, which is completely fine to be viewing, and the U-scope's nice and easy to take in the car. So what I want to see is we've got a good CAN bus at the moment. It's not perfect clarity, but it's still going to be right. So let's see if we can get this to fail, and then let's have a look at what it looks like. Right, there's no rhyme or reason to it, so basically we're connected up. I'm starting to suspect it might be the power steering control module. What I've done is I've accessed it. I've taken the right hand headlight out and I've got all 3 plugs there, and I'm going to see if I can make this fail on the road again. Take the U-scope out and unplug the module and see if it comes good. So let us see how this goes. Wish us luck. Alright guys, this has turned into a bit of a saga. Like I said, I've got the headlight out. We got our plugs for the electronic power steering. The issue is we can't make this fail often enough and for long enough to be able to test it. I left it here overnight with the, not overnight, I left it for a little bit running with the Pico connected to it, and that's it running good. As you can see, we've got our CAN high, CAN low, and then we've got our math channel at the bottom. And it did catch it running poorly with all the lights on, but didn't have enough time to actually do anything about it and make any checks. Check that out. That is a terrible waveform. And you can see that obviously if we're using our math channel, we can still see the problem, can't we? So, and that's why having the U-scope on the unit inside the car, we're able to use that math channel, because the math channel's, well, that's basically working out the potential difference between the high and the low, which is what the math channel is, because the math channel is channel A, which is high, take channel B, which is low. So 3.5 take 1.5 is 2-ish. So that's what we're getting on the math channel, and that's why we can use that to still see the issue on our U-scope inside the car. And it's handy because it's small, the battery's good. I can just whip it around and bring it outside and try and get down here and disconnect it when it's failing and see what we get. So bear with us. Alright, so after testing the ABS and the power steering, no avail. We're suspecting the cluster now after doing a little bit of digging. Check this out. There we go. Hit it twice and it goes away. Back on. Wow, I did it like 3 times before and it happened. Now it's not doing it. Anyway, I'm going to pull that cluster out and then we'll play around with it while it's running and see what happens. This might be a better view just before I pull it out, but it's not working. But if I grab both of those, and there we go, it's 100% this connector. 100%. Okay, we're out, no difference. I can't really make it fail when it's out now, so maybe when it's just bolted up and it's causing a little bit of stress on the connectors on the inside, but I'll play around with this connector and the unit itself, and nothing's changing on the dash. Our CAN network's still good, so I'm going to speak to the customer, see what they want to do, whether they want to try and get a new cluster or try and send this one away for repair. I will keep you posted. Alright guys, so we sent this out to Josh from the automotive clinic. He's the only one that I trust to get any ECU or module repairs done, and he's done this one for us, and he's done a little video on it, just a quick explanation, so I'll chuck that in there, you'll see that shortly.
Good morning everyone. Alright, today we've got an instrument cluster in. This has come from Rob at Romano's Automotive over in WA. He's a top bloke, we do a lot of work with Rob. Rob's also the Australian distributor for Magic Motorsport, so you get a lot of good stuff through him. This cluster has come in for intermittent CAN communication issues. Now, straight off the bat, these things are very, very common for failure. We fix a lot of them, see a lot of them. A lot of people kind of get sidetracked with them. They have very common issues with the connection joints failing, so the actual connector joints on the back of the board. What people don't realise on these though is that there is actually other spots that fail. There is other components that fail. We replaced a lot of CAN transceivers on them. They need to be reworked in other areas. So a lot of people get sort of sidetracked by resoldering connector joints, put them in the car and go, oh no, it's still not fixed, got to be another module. There is more work that's needed, especially on these red display ones. The older green ones are a little bit more simple, but these ones, there is more work needed. So I'm going to get this thing stripped apart. We're going to get it all repaired and shot back to Rob. All right, post repair. I am going to, now this was an intermittent issue, so it is hard to test for on the bench. I am going to hook the scan tool up, make sure this thing communicates. I've got it powering on over there now. As long as it communicates fine, we'll get it all shot back and this will be all sorted. So thanks for Rob for sending this in. Ford clusters in general, massive failure point with communication issues. Don't just throw them in, and be very cautious of just resoldering connector joints. Yes, you'll fix it on some of the older ones, the newer versions, and some of these different display ones. They do need more work than just connector joints. So it's a very, very common issue. I have people send clusters in, oh no, it's already been reworked, there's got to be something wrong with it, or vehicles come in, and it's, you know, people or workshops, whatever, that just do one portion of the repair and miss out on CAN transceivers and other parts of the board that need reworking or need repair. So this one will be
All right, we are up and running. Everything is back together. Collecting a few cobwebs. It's been sitting for a long, long time at this customer's house. But what we're going to do is go for a big drive in this thing now. We'll leave it running for a while, make sure it's good. But as you saw in Josh's video, there was definitely issues with this cluster, and we're pretty confident this is the major issue going on with it. So I'm going to go for a big long road test. If there's any issues to report, this video will continue. But if the video ends after this, you know that it's done and we solved the issue. So hopefully you got a little bit out of that with a little bit of CAN communication. Diagnosis, or you know, even looking at math channels and all that sort of stuff with the networks breaking down. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.